Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Helda Oktaviani with the student number 322319011. Today I'm going to be a teacher in 11th grade and the material will be present about the invitation facts. So let's start. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. How's everybody doing today?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Salam morning, Miss.
I'm good.
Fine. Good, Miss.
Good, Miss.
I'm so excited to see all of you. Okay, all right, very good. So we are gonna start the roll of class today, and we will see which student decide to join this call today. So when I say your name, just push the present button, or you can just raise your hand and say present. Okay. Okta,
Present, Miss.
Winda,
Present, Miss.
Orchidea. Hello, Orchidea, are you here? Are you there?
Sinyalnya kayaknya, Miss.
Kayaknya sinyalnya nggak ada deh, Miss. Izin dulu kayaknya dia, Miss.
Okay, Aini,
Present, Miss.
Trina,
Present, ma'am. Miss.
Sherina,
Present, Miss.
Maisaro.
Present, Miss.
Okay, all right. Now that everybody is here, let's get started. Have you ever met other people at an event organized by a certain party? Whether it's an event that is formal or informal. Usually we will receive some kind of invitation letter, right? Well, our discussion this time is related to this formal invitation letter. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Wait. Okay. Anyone can see my screen?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
So here I already make the PowerPoint about the invitation letter. So an invitation letter is a document that presents a formal request for the presence of an individual, of a group, or people in organization at an event. Okay, so an invitation letter can be formal or informal, and it can be written or sent via email. Invitation letter it is also can be used for a variety of events like wedding ceremonies, seminar meetings, annual event, or maybe graduation or anniversary of certain parties. Okay, have you ever written a formal invitation letter? And do you know what is invitation letter, students?
Yes, we
Yes, I
know,
have,
Miss.
Miss. And I know.
So, what is invitation letter?
Simply surat undangan kan, Miss?
Ya, betul, surat undangan ya. Jadi surat undangan itu dibagi menjadi dua. Ada surat undangan formal dan ada surat undangan yang tidak formal. Nah, di sini akan menjelaskan mengenai surat undangan yang formal. So, formal invitation letter are letter written for inviting officials certain distinguished people for their participation in various activities. Okay, so this formal letters is also written in a formal format and also formal tone, and it refers to you now letters like for invite someone to attend to the seminar or to the conference or maybe attending for the interview or some annual event. So, what about the goals or purpose of the invitation letter? The goal of the purpose of the invitation letter is to invite someone group or people or representative on organization or party to participate at a particular event or activity. Yeah, of course, the goal is we are hoping that someone that we invite will attend to the event that we have having, right? So it's important for you to know how to write acute formal letters and how to use a polite expression so the letter will be encouraged the invited to attend your event. And next is so as I mentioned before that for a formal invitation letter you have a follow a formal format, right? Here I'm gonna give you the full layout for the formal invitation letter. So actually we have also the next one is the body of the letter, but now I'm gonna explain to you first before we go to the body of the letter. The first is sender's name. We have to mention the sender's name or the inviter name. Who are these the sender names means? Yeah, the sender name means is who is sending the letter. You can mention your name and also the company and also the position in the company or organization. And number two is sender address. Okay, so right, the sender address of the sender is that the name of the company and then where it's located. So it's important also to mention. And the recipient will know where is the location of the senders and who is the senders. And number third is the date. The date is can be left or in the right position. Okay. So for the date, you can use American or British styles. And next is after the date is the reference number or the index of the letter. So in formal invitation, you must write the reference number. It's to make it valid. We have to put the number of the letter for the example. And then this one is usually to catch or index and the year, okay? Certain companies or organization will have divided a rule how to write number of the letter. But here, sometimes from number number one until you know how many letters that you have already sent. If number one means the letter is the first letter that is sent by the company. Next is attachment. So attachment is a certain document or can be for the photos or maybe any other documents that is sent together with the application later. So you can mention if there is attachment, you have to mention the number like one document or one page of document. And then the subject. What is subject for the letter? Subject for the letter is an invitation letter. So write the subject invitation for the letter. And then what is the event? Okay, and then the recipient's name. Recipient's name or the invitee name is also important to mention. Who are you going to send the letter? And don't forget to put a name of the person. And next is the recipient address or the invitee address. Where and what and where does the location of the recipient or the address of the recipient. And the last one is the salutation. For the salutation, we can use a dear or madam if you don't know the name or the represents. For the example, Mr. Smith or Mrs. Anna. Okay, that's all about layout. Before we go to the body, you're gonna go into the body of the letter. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you about the body of the letter or the structure of the letter. This is the main important part that you must include in your invitation letter. The point number A is introduction. You can mention your name, who are you, and why you are writing the letter, okay? And also can mention the position of your company or the organization. And the point number B, expression of invitation. After you introduce yourself, who are you, and then express the intention of the invitee by saying, would like to invite you to attend this event. And next is for the date here is different with the date you have written in the invitation letter before because the date is the date of the event. So mention the date clearly, and then after the date is the time when the event will start, and then the place or the venue of the event. And then there are LSVP. So what is LSVP? Here is the first respondent for something like in one language or in English language. It means please respond. So I'm gonna clear you for the RSVP. It's a must you have mentioned the RSVP because it's important part. The RSVP, it can be to your email company or email on your phone number. So the use of RSVP itself is used to confirm whether the invitee are able to attend or not. Next is dress code. If any, then the expression of hopes. So after you have mentioned the date, the time, the place, and the RSVP, express your hope that this invitee or the representative will come to your event, okay? And then next, appreciate in writing or letters. We have to say thank you for the attention because we have taken their time to read the invitation letter. Okay, the last one is the complimentary signature and full name position. The complimentary, we can say you're friendly, you're faithful to respect the revision of the letter, and then don't forget to sign, make it valid, and then mention your full name, write down your full name, and also the position in the company or organization. Next slide is about the example of formal invitation letter. And we are gonna analyzing the example. So the first we start from the address. Yeah, the center of the letter Vocational High School of Cempaka Putih, Jalan Raya number 100, and then phone number 012345667, and then yeah, this phone number, and you can also mention the email here. So I put a line here to make it neat usual, yeah. And then after the heading or the sender. And why I didn't put my name? Because I'm gonna mention in the introduction, I also mention my name. So I just need to put the address only and the name of the organization, this educational organization of the school. Next, I also wrote the date of the letter. Next, there is a number of the reference of the letter. And then NCC is mean the attachment. So I attach one document together with this letter. And the subject of the letter here, there are invitation letter. For the subject, you have to make it simple as possible, not too long, but not too short, but pricey. Okay. Next, the name of the representative that you want to send invitation. For example, Mr. Brian Domani as the English teacher of Putrajaya Vocational High School. So inside of the name, the invitee, you have also mentioned the address of the invitee. Then we go to the body of the main important point. So I open the letter by saying, "Dear Mr. Brian Domani, yeah, it's make more polite, and also I mentioned full name. And this is, we call this one is salutation. Then start by saying, I am Helda Oktaviani, and I'm writing on behalf of Cempaka Melati Vocational High School. We have the pleasure of inviting you for an online teaching seminar for English teacher. After that, I'm gonna explain you the date, time, and the venue of the event. Okay. Next, I'm gonna tell you about the important point of an invitation letter or formal invitation letter. You have write the day, and also the date of the event. Okay. Next is venue or the place of the event. So you have mentioned clearly the location. And then RSVP here, I mentioned the email of the school means that the representative has to reply or respond to the letter by sending whether the representative can come or cannot come. If the representative or the invitee can come, and she or he has to reply. So this is the date you can see there. for the LCV, if the invitee can come, then he or she should say first, thank you for the attention, and then expressing the ability to come, thank you. Next is dress code. So I mentioned the dress code is batik. Okay, next the speaker of the seminar of English online teaching include Mr. Johannes, our English language professor. Okay, after mentioning daytime venue or city and also the dress code, it's important to mention a little bit about the detail of the activity or event, right? Because this is seminar. Of course, should some speaker is important. Okay. Uh, I think enough for me. And then the task for you at home is to make and design a formal invitation in order we learned earlier, okay? You make and design a formal invitation later. Do you understand?
Okay, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for your attention. And I will see you all the next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you, Miss. See you.